Live from the internet and recorded on March 13, 2018. This is the Crystal Chronicles Season 2, Episode 2, your official and unofficial Dissidia Omnia Final Fantasy podcast. My name is Pierre. I'm joined by Mark, my co-host. Hey, Mark.
Hey, Pierre.
Hi.
Hey, all of our adoring fans.
Such a great day to be alive. If you're on Twitch right now or watching this after the fact on YouTube, you are so lucky you get to see our little faces. We finally got it working. It only took 63 episodes to get us there. Mm-hmm. That's technology right where you need it. So, how was your week?
Pretty good. Still alive. I did not meet my hope of 15 characters at Crystal Strength 15, but as we were just going through it, I have 13 at Crystal Strength 50, excuse me, and 2 at 49, and 1 at 48, a couple at 45. So I'm pretty good, but I was right around like 2 hours before the event ended, and I missed the maintenance notice. And so I was hoping to spend those like 2 hours kind of grinding a few more cycles of crystals, and completely missed the fact that there was maintenance because that was over my lunch kind of hour.
Did you waste a key or?
No. I just went to play and it was maintenance. So.
Yeah, I saw a lot of people on Reddit being kind of pissed off because they missed the maintenance announcement. Some of them had like keys and books and.
Yeah, well, I saw the announcement. Yeah, I didn't match up the time. So
on my end, as we talked pre-show, I finally overranked you at 118 while you're at 117.
I could change that. Very quick as Eiko's level 1.
No, that's fine. Take your time.
Let me just run a level real quick.
In terms of Crystal Strength, I've got 7 of them at 50, 1 at 40, 2 at 49. I've actually got Zidane at 49. I could flip him to 50 right now. It's just that I refuse to do so on the ground that his level 50 Crystal Strength power is absolutely freaking stupid and useless.
I don't know. It's the girls one, right? Benevolent
Knight.
Knight.
Slightly raises attack depending on the number of female party members present.
I don't know what the numbers on that are, and I don't know what the numbers are, I guess, overall to know if that would be particularly useful or not, even if you had 2 other female party members. But it's not the best level 50 power, that's for sure.
It kind of feels like easy. It was the easy way to go, and they took it, but yeah.
Well, especially for a character that's all about speed and who's arguably one of the fastest characters in the game right now.
Yep, that's for sure.
You'd think you'd have some more speed-oriented abilities at level 50, which would have been nice.
Yeah.
But such is life, and Zidane loves the ladies, and it's uncomfortable, as this Eiko event shows.
That's the understatement of the year when everybody is looking at it and is like, what? Come on, this little girl, what's wrong with you? Hey, I gotta ask, I never played Final Fantasy 9, but it's not in my souvenir. Did Eiko always had like that unicorn thing and the wings? Or
she's a summoner. Mm-hmm.
So she always had that. If I Google her right now, all the pictures she has, well, shit.
Unicorn and wings, yeah.
Huh. Sure. What do I know? Well, nothing, but...
that's her summoner horn, and she's got like little wings.
Yeah. Okay. All right, before we jump into this week's episode stuff, we've got some corrections to make, and credits goes to FF9 Master on Reddit. So 3 corrections that he sent us, and I felt, kind of make the thing right. He says, grinding hope stage to upgrade your gear is for gil efficiency only. For XP efficiency, you're better off using your orbs straight. Because in order to create that 550 XP weapon, you need to spend 1,500 XP worth of orbs on it. And right now, with the double cycle quest reward, which as we speak now is over, gil is not an issue. Just spend a key on Sunday Gil's farm and you'll be golden. So I think you kind of wanted to make a correction yourself on that, right?
Yeah, well, we didn't talk. I mentioned the idea behind the gil, but we didn't kind of expressly say this system of taking your 2-star or 3-star items, but from Hope's level, the 2-star relics, and leveling them up to level 5 for 550 XP, which, yeah, you have to dump in 1500 XP to do that, was for gil efficiency. It was for minimizing the amount of gil, because the higher level you rank your things, the more gil it costs. I would argue that gil is probably still an issue if you're trying to spend, 2-star orbs to level up your level 30 or level 35 item. It's still going to get really costly really quick. So, just keep an eye on it. But
So
yeah,
it's
right now gil is, because we've been burning double XP, double books, like crazy. So right now I'm at 750,000 gil. But early on, when I did not have a lot of gil and just starting the game, that
that was
a
a
lot
blocker.
of gil wasted. So this is a way to save some gil by basically sinking XP into one item instead of using a lot of items, because the more items you use, the more gil it costs, and the higher level you go, the more gil it costs. But yeah, very good catch, and we didn't really explicitly say that. So,
correction number 2. He says Yuna's weapon makes the status clear of Isuna AoE. The bravery gain will hit your whole party no matter what she has equipped. So she can be a brave battery with just a stat stick. Like,
yeah,
and he
that's
was
awesome.
referring to my level 32 Shantoto staff. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Yeah, I didn't catch originally that the weapon just adds, Astro Rod just adds Insuna debuff. The Brave battery is always there. But her next weapon does make cheer target party, so that just will make her better. But yeah, that's a good catch.
And the last one, he says, if you sell your limit broken 5-star gear, you get a number of orbs equal to the total number of the weapon you had. So don't feel bad about, say, having a Tifa Claw with 3 limit breaks into it, because when you sell that, you'll still get 4 orbs out of it. And this is actually something, a clarification that I really like to know, because and I guess this is going to come in a lot handier when we start getting the second tier of weapons for characters. So, the characters you'll have spent or whaled gems on to get 2 times, 3 times to get their passive learn. You'll be able to recycle them into orbs to, break for other weapons at that point. So it's recycling.
That is
it's
super
good.
helpful, especially if, for example, hypothetically, you had a Tifa Claw that had been limit broken 3 times. Hypothetically, if that's something that you had, that would be good. No, that's a really I definitely did not know that, and that is super helpful, because I do have, you start out, and when I start a new game, I don't read anything into it. I don't look and see what's been going on. I just kind of, plutz my way through it here. And so that is something that helps me not feel too bad about myself, because I do have a couple weapons that I combined maybe too early, including that Tifa Claw, but I'm not going to sell it yet. But someday, if I'd like to sell it, I know I can get 4 instead of just 1 from it, so I won't feel too bad about myself.
So FF9 Master, thank you for these corrections. As I said,
much.
we
keep us honest, people online, people in the world.
We make no assumptions at being, at the fact that we're always right, and it's definitely far from it, especially in my case. So please, people, you notice anything we're saying that's totally out of whack, just shoot us an email at kupo@tccpodcast.com, and we'll make sure to make the correction on the next episode. But now, jumping on to this week's episode, and before we hit any of the new game stuff, I think, Mark, there's something you wanted to talk about. I think you saw, I saw it on Twitter, I don't know where you heard about it. It's the Dissidia blind box collector figure.
Oh yeah, not just Dissidia. It is Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia blind box collector figures. So these are collectible figurines from Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia. So it's not from NT or from some other Dissidia. This is actually figurines from this game using the models from this game, which are slightly different than NT, obviously. A little bit different graphics on the mobile phone versus on the PS4 or Xbone, whichever you have. Or is it on PC yet? I don't think so.
No, it's not, because I would have totally purchased it.
So you can go onto a Square Enix store, and you can sign up. I think it's going to be released sometime this summer, and you can sign up for a pack of 10 random, and I think it's like $70 if you buy them now, but they are randomly assorted 10 characters or 10 blind boxes, of course, because this is gotcha. And there's an option of 5 different characters. So you can buy a set of 10, like a case of 10, and then you open them up and then see which characters you get and then trade, I guess, for the ones you don't get. So I think the 5 characters off the top of my head are Squall, Cloud, Zidane, Lightning.
Go on, you're only missing one. I have it right in front of me now.
Some other person
come on.
not like.
Take it.
It's not Van, is it?
It's not Van. You've got one last guess.
Wow, it's not Warrior. Is it Warrior Light?
It's not Warrior Light. It's Titus.
Titus. Oh, Titus.
Titus. That thing is.
Yeah, Titus. Yeah, I hate the fact that it's Titus.
Yeah, Purple Nep says, can you imagine having 10 Cloud dupes?
Yeah, I'd get 10 like Wakas. Waka's not even a set, but I'll get like 10 Wakas. Oh, where do I get? So that's my question for Square.
Where's Waka?
Where's Waka? I want my Waka. My question is, are each of these characters the same rarity? Because I would be more than willing to buy a case of 10 of these if each character is the same rarity. But if like Squall is super rare and Titus is common, I do not want any part of this garbage.
Because basically for $72 US, that's for pre-order.
Yes, pre-order.
And it's going to be $80 when this is released.
So yeah, $8 a box.
And you've got 5 characters that are, how can I say this, not full color, but normal. And then you've got the same 5 characters in their crystal, what's it called in the game?
So I thought those were just unpainted and painted. There's actually 10 different characters.
Well, it's not super clear, but that's my understanding from what I'm looking at right now. So
yeah, so if you have 10 options, if you have the 10 crystal versions and the 10 painted versions, yeah, that's going to be rough.
5 of each. So
no, right? Oh, exactly.
So if you buy a box, I would assume you have 1 of each. It's just if you buy them at like a toy store or your Magic card store or something, that's where it's going to get a little messy. But I can't imagine if you go out and buy, each. If you go out and pre-order 1 box, I can imagine you wouldn't get 1 of each. That would be kind of super lame. But until proven right,
I'd like to see them. I'd like to see them and see kind of what they look like. I like little. I don't have a lot of Final Fantasy.
Yeah, I was going to say
merch,
in your.
But I do have a Yuna and a Renoa like figure. They're maybe this big. That's size doesn't. They're 3 3/4 inch scale if you're a Star Wars collector. So.
Yeah, they look nice.
Yeah, but the character photos that they've shown are pretty cool. They look pretty close to the game, so I wouldn't mind having a couple. I'd certainly take the kids would like to have a Squall, I'm sure, or a Cloud, I'm sure. My boys love Cloud for some reason. We haven't even played Final Fantasy VII, but they love Cloud.
He's cool looking.
Yeah, they compared him to Jesus a couple weeks ago. It's a long night.
I'm not going to go there. I'll leave you the Reverend stuff, and I'll stick to what I know. All right, Eiko. This small summoner, she's finally in the game. I know there was a lot of hype around Eiko, I kept one of the comment that I saw on Reddit. Someone said Eiko will probably be the best character in Global, and she will be useful for many future events. However, she is not future-proof. I'll get back to that term in half a second. She's not future-proof according to Ultima, so think carefully before investing your resources for her weapon. Now, before we get into anything, what exactly is future-proof? Oh, sorry about that. I'll try to cut that in the 15
That's what the
minutes.
Pepsi does to you.
Yeah. So,
if you had Coke, you would have cancer. But I mean, that's what the Pepsi does to you.
all right.
Sweet cancer.
So, what exactly does future-proof supposed to mean? And because technically, I mean, it's future-proof until when? Do you know how exactly that kind of stuff works?
Sure, I don't, but my
Sure, I don't.
my understanding of the term future-proof as it relates to this game is there are some characters who are useful now who start to wane in their usefulness 6 months or a year from now. And I think that's generally dependent on their weapons, their next weapons. Now, that can switch if they get their third weapon and they're great, right? So there are some characters now that aren't super useful that are going to get a better weapon and be useful. There are some characters that are really useful now and only get better. There are some characters that are semi-useful now and then start to kind of lower in usefulness. And apparently Eiko is one of them, although Eiko's not rated particularly low. I'm looking... What's her current weapon called?
Ting stuff thingy. I think. Let me check. It's.
I can look it up too.
No. I'll do the hard work for you. It's Magic Racket.
Okay, so it is...
No, wait, it's Priest Racket, sorry.
Yeah, Priest Racket. So I'm looking at her next weapon, the Magic Racket. And its ability, besides being up to CP 50, which is great, of course, its affinity ability increases Smite's potency and lowers its action delay. So that's decent. Raises all party members' brave based on Eiko's attack power. Grants medium speed up for 5 turns. So that doesn't seem like a terrible ability compared to, her current ability. I think what maybe the problem is the boosts, the buffers, the party buff characters maybe fall out of use later in the current Japanese game.
Okay, so future-proof, I mean, because when that guy's saying think carefully before investing, I would assume that this means for like the real money player. The people who will actually invest money, not, hey, don't draw on this because in 6 months you'll...
Well, I think in terms of your free-to-play players, so almost immediately, and I think we got something on Twitter from somebody, almost like, 6 hours after the event started, I saw somebody with Eiko level 50, Crystal level 50, which is fine. That's easy. You can do that in a few hours if you've saved your crystals and you're grinding levels. That's completely possible. But a 6-star weapon and a 6-star armor.
Holy wow. 6-star armor.
So you get 2 armors from the event, and then they spent the armor points that they had earned
especially
on 2 more sets of Eiko armor. So they're all in. And they spent how many draws to get at least 1, if not all 4, versions of her current Priest Racket. So I think the idea is, if you're going to spend, if you're saving up gems, if you're a free-to-play player, or you're saving up armor points, you may not want to spend them all on a character whose usefulness declines as the game goes forward. There are characters like Terra and Van and Squall and Cloud and Yuna
and Waka.
Yeah, not at all. Who are in that kind of top tier characters who are going to continue to get better, who I think they would refer to as future proof. So they're good now and they're going to be good in the future. Now that may be dependent on their weapon if you have their weapon. So if you're looking to save or plan ahead, just because a character is good today does not mean that character's usefulness will continue. Although I don't think she's ever a terrible character. I think she may be like in Japan, she may be considered like third tier.
I've got it right here. She is rated B tier, so that's Fort.
Okay, so she's down on the list. She's below Thranst and Hope.
Unfortunately, she is below Hope.
Well, that's uncomfortable language.
She's below
Again,
Hope.
for these kids.
Oh boy.
Well, I mean, regardless of how you take that, that's never a good thing to be below Hope in terms of personality or I don't know.
Well, I mean, they
or
reach somewhere. Both of them, their
parents.
well, there you go.
It's true. Her parents are very, very dead. Her entire village, besides her cousin or whatever you want to call Garnet. So, yeah.
All right. So, have you
Cousins? Sisters? No, they're, I think, cousins, right? I don't remember. Exactly. They are related somehow.
We'll wait for someone on Twitch to give us that answer.
Spoiler. I literally just played Final Fantasy IX.
For real? Well, you said you don't read the text. You just go ahead
through that. No, I don't remember stuff.
So, Eiko, does she fancy you as super useful? I mean, her abilities are basically not refresh heal, but sorry.
She's super HP regen.
HP regen. She regenerates.
She's super useful in this boss fight. I can tell you that. You want at least one, and you don't want more than one, but you want one in your party. That would be great. Yeah, so her first power HP regen is basically Brave Battery plus regen. And I think if you have her first weapon, it increases the regen from 6 to 12 turns, which is it's almost too much because you'd almost like to use the ability, more, right? To use it as a Brave Battery. I'm trying to look for it here. Here it is, Priest Racket. Yeah, so extends the duration of HP regen for 12 turns, grants small attack up and small max brave up for 12 turns. So if you have her Priest Racket, you get the HP regen, but you also get a attack boost and a max brave boost, all for 12 turns. So that's a really cool buff mechanic. Plus you're getting the Brave Battery. Plus she has a decent Brave attack that gives the entire party additional Brave.
Yeah, that would be Smite.
Yeah, Smite. Sorry, that's her second ability.
Yep.
So yeah, she's.
But one other thing that really bugs me about her, I mean, sure she does the regen stuff, she does the Smite stuff, but for crying out loud, her maximum bravery is so low that she caps that thing really quickly, and she barely does a dent into anything. So you might want to bring her to, like we said earlier, to be bravery battery. But if you want to level her up and you keep your thing on auto, she's gonna get thrashed really quickly if you don't have strong characters with her. It might have happened to me a few times where I left the phone not looking and I came back and two of them were dead, and that's just normal crystal farming stuff. So I couldn't imagine in the current co-op 70 going in with 3 Eiko like I went in the Baltier co-op with 3 Terra or whatever. I mean, 3 Eiko, that would be fun to see, but I don't think you can win that one out.
Yeah, at least one Eiko, because Smite is, for this event, Smite is the same element that the boss is weak to, correct?
Well, it would
Smite
make sense, yeah.
is what element is that? Is that
Smart, that would be holy.
holy damage? Okay, so the enemy's weak to holy. That makes sense for an ability called Smite. Yeah, so the enemy's weak to holy, so yeah, she's really great in this event, and for this boss fight especially. And there will be probably other times where she comes into kind of her own, especially for these boss fights that are a little bit longer, with those nice stat boosts and the XP or the HP regen and the bravery boost. So again, I'm not like head over heels about her. I'm not sure that she's worth going too much into, but if you don't have anybody else.
So talking about the boss fight, basically it's the same fight that you do throughout all of the event battles, save maybe the first one where you have the land turtle. It's the two with their face, and the other one. Basically, the first one goes fully
Something priest.
Yeah, something. I am so bad with names. This is
White priest. White, as in WIGHT, like the undead white, as opposed to white like me, the color of my skin. So yes, white priest and familiar. So they're all ghosts.
Alright, so basically as you join in all of these fights, obviously you'll probably have a good understanding. The white priest goes in full perfect dodge, means that you can't...
Perfect dodge.
It's perfect dodge, you'll dodge.
Perfect.
It's kind of funny because it says dodge even I read that wrong, so never mind, it's not funny at all. But anyway, it says dodges even precise attacks.
Yeah.
So
nice.
That means Saz, where, he might have been almost useful. Nope. Even precise attack. So until you kill the two familiar, you can't hit him. Once they're gone, he pops back up, and it is next turn, I believe. He starts, he revives the two familiars. So this is a race to burn the ads as quickly as you can to be able to hit the boss. And the great thing about him, which is not great at all, is that he actually casts Hastega on all of them, meaning that all of them will get more turns to hit on your troops, or hit your troops. I don't think they're going to be hitting on your troops. And he's got Dark Cure, which recovers an ally HP, Dark Attacks, and Call of the Living, which, as we says, revives the all allies on the caster next turn and cancels perfect dodge. So there we go.
Yeah, he's pretty slow, and especially when he gets broken and the two familiars are destroyed and he casts Call of the Living. Yes, that gives you a very short window until he revives them and becomes unable to be hit, because immediately he casts perfect dodge. But usually when he casts Call of the Living and becomes vulnerable, you have 2 or 3 turns through your order before he comes up again.
Yep.
And so one of the basic tricks for this is basically there's really nothing you can do around the first go, so you're going to kill the familiars, because really it's only when the familiars are alive that you're really in danger of taking anything damage-wise. So kill the familiars, set yourself up, try to do some damage. I don't think anybody's beating him in the first time he resurrects, so I think it's usually 2 times through at least before people have been killing him. But in that second time, if you're using your chocobo, if you have your chocobo at level 11, or if you have an Ifrit that's higher level, the chocobo will generate faster. So people are using the level 11 chocobo, because you can get your chocobo up to level 11 with the item you get in Chapter 6 hard difficulty. But I think that's as far as you can take the chocobo. And reason to do level 11 is because chocobo then gets 5 turns at level 11. But chocobo is one of the fast generating summons as opposed to a moderately slow generating summon. So you can summon him faster than you can summon some of the other characters, like Ifrit. Really, that's kind of your choice right now,
Ifrit
or chocobo. So people are trying to bring in, like I've seen groups that are just bringing in cloud, like 3 clouds or 2 clouds in an Ico, and basically they're trying to bring all chocobos. So you go through the boss once, basically build up your brave, and then summon back to back. Because as soon as you summon back to back, the boss can't revive, obviously. And if you have organics, that has an ability to paralyze, which then breaks his turn order down lower. So people are trying to proc paralyze and then multi-summon to not give him the actions that he needs to revive his counterparts. So it's a really good strategy. You just have to pay attention. I don't think you have to go out of your way to, kick people off your team or whatever people are doing. People are kind of being jerks about co-op, which is, it's not really my favorite thing. I enjoy it, but again, you never know who you're going to get, and some people don't want to play if you don't have the right characters, or I just host, and whoever shows up, we do what we can, have fun with it and don't worry about it.
Yeah, I think the most annoying.
I bring good characters.
I think the most annoying thing right now in co-op, besides the fact that if, like for the Baltier's event, if you don't have a level 20 Ifrit or something, they just kick you out right away. The most annoying thing is the people who will use those stamps or those emojis every freaking turn. If you take like half a second to even think to tell you what to do, it's like brave attack, summon, hi. Geez, just shut up for a second. I mean,
that can be annoying. Give your people a couple of seconds. Now I've had people ask what to do, while I'm co-oping, which is great.
I will press advice, please, when I'm not too sure.
Sure.
And that's great. It means I am asking you. But if at every freaking turn you're trying to tell me what to do, and in between you add it's so annoying.
It's okay.
And I've seen people so annoyed. I've read somewhere people writing, when someone gets like emoji happy, I wait the whole 60 seconds just to piss them off. So it's such a bad way to deal with it.
That's kind of funny. Yeah, I'm not. It takes so much focus and time to do the co-ops. I'm not big on grinding them like some people are, but unfortunately, this is the way to get the artifacts, which I know later you have a question about, but. So if you want the artifacts, this is what you got to do. And
I saw someone on Twitter. His name is Roser. He's member of the what's it called, Opera Omnia Forum. That's operaomniaforum.com. Real cool place of people hanging out. That guy has not only done the 2 million points thing, the grind on Baltier, he's done it on Eiko as well.
Oh, wow.
And that's a huge amount of respect, because I'm not even past the 1 million bar on Baltier, and I've been doing it like crazy.
Yeah, no, I just don't care about that one.
Fastcard on Twitch is saying that grinding is a good way to get tickets too. I think it's worth it for those. I absolutely fully agree with you.
Yeah.
It's just at some point, those two little machines, I can't even see them in my dreams anymore. Grinding is only so much fun until the point where you just get sick of it, and what do you know, 7 days after, hey, because that's the thing, and in some months we're going to be able to say, hey, you know what, little guy, come here, sit down, and let me tell you the story where we had nothing else to do but the Baltier's event. But now we've got 2 events, so what am I going to do? Keep on Baltier, go on Eiko, and in 7 days it's going to be Eiko and something else. So having 7 days to do nothing but one event, that was great. But now our timer's always going to be split between 2 events, so the grinding.
Well, and I'm not.
Grinding will never stop.
There seems to be enough, because right now the high tier event, the high tier rewards are tickets, and of course, summon tickets, you get artifacts, free chance at a 5. That's great. I feel like we're getting a decent amount of gems to negate some of the tickets, the need to grind for the high levels of tickets. But the big issue is right now this is the only way to get armor points.
Yep.
And the armor points are the only way to get the armor, and the armor is pretty important, especially as CP and the artifacts too. There's plenty of good passive artifact abilities that you'd want on your top tier characters. So, talk to me when we get like our Squall and Van and those kind of characters that I'm really going to want the artifacts. Then I'm going to be grinding really hard. But if it's characters that I'm less concerned about, then I probably won't be grinding. Like the Belthier event, I don't, I'm not really worried about the 3 characters in that. Now, the Eiko, I do have Bartz and Yitta maxed out. They're both Crystal Strength 50.
Do you have specific
character
weapons for
level
them?
50. I have both of their weapons at level 20. So, I'm using them, and, I'd like artifacts for them and give them some extra abilities, especially Bart's, because he's kind of future-proof. Hashtag future-proof. So you can kind of say that.
Yeah,
It is nice. It is nice for the character synergy. We talked a little bit about it last week, but your level 20, if you have a level 20 artifact with synergy, it's slightly better, especially if it's affinity. It's slightly better without synergy.
I lost you. You said
so, like, yeah. So if I go into this event with Bartz, and I have his level 20, I have a 5-star Choco Blade, and I have it max level at level 20. As opposed to triple broken and everything else. So I just have one. I have 2, but I just have one, and it's level 20. Mine is level 20. That weapon with synergy from the event is better than Squall or Van's or Zidane's swords at level 35 without synergy.
Yep.
That makes sense. So if you have, it is nice if you have a whole bunch of these 5-star weapons you don't really use all the time. It's nice to have them at level 20 because you can use them in these synergy events. And, of course, the characters get passive boosts, too. So Bartz and Yitta, I like Yitta. She's not the great top-tier character, but in this event, she's really useful. And for this boss fight, she's pretty useful, actually. And with her buffs and her character buffs and her weapon buff, she's really quite good.
Purple Napnap says that Van, and he's got a point, Van already has his 5-star armor in the armor shop.
Yeah, I have it. Yeah.
So why aren't you grinding those armor points to get more of it?
I am. Now I have to. So yeah.
Thank you, Purple. Mark's wife says thanks
I
for ruining his life.
Yeah, no, it's definitely something. I want those armor points. That's what I mean. If there was no armor points, I probably wouldn't even be bothering with the co-op quests besides just completing them. But yeah, with the armor points, that's the only reason I'm going to be going at these co-op quests, especially with the new tiers. I feel like they kind of revamped the tiers for this event as opposed to the Belthier event. So I think the tiers are a little bit better. So the armor points are all up front, and then it's tickets for the higher tiers. So
yeah, it makes sense because a lot of people complain on the Beltier's event that the armor points were all for the heavy players and that the casual players were being kind of, left apart and not considered for all of that. So.
Well, and yeah, considering you need 4 sets of armor to limit break it fully, 5 armor points an event doesn't seem like it's an overwhelming amount to give out to, semi-casual players.
Let's move on to, because we're talking about co-op, so I'm going to move one of the points earlier. Artifacts. I've been, like I said earlier, I've been grinding the Baltier's event. I had plenty of artifacts. And here, let me bring up my phone for the people watching on the stream. Here it is. And if I go to enhancements and enhance armor. Okay, so I have 2 5-star artifacts that are capped. One for Terra, one for Beltier. And a lot of other crap, and I don't understand how that shit works. All of the passive abilities, I got all of that out of that, were all super lame abilities, and I was under the impression that they were actually going to be better than that. So if I go to Terra and I look, see, I got defense plus 28 at 12 CP, which is terrible.
That's awful. Yeah.
Initial bravery plus 55. And I see people on Twitter having like 2 stars and all of that. So here's my question. Are the passive granted by the artifacts absolutely random, or how the hell does that work? Because I don't get it.
I think they are randomly generated, right? Yeah.
I thought, like, when I got Terra's artifact at 5-star, I thought, well, there we go. I'm going to get, like, a super great passive because it's 5-star, and nope, it was total crap, so... And now I'm actually afraid to get rid of them because do I need, like, to keep 2 of them to get, like, the 2nd-star passive ability? Or I saw some people saying, well, you can recycle them once you got the ability, but I don't know.
You can use them once you have them fully limit broken, because for the artifacts you have to limit break them. So you have to combine them 3 times, and then you have to fully level them.
Using all the edge artifact is edge.
You can use the ones that you max out fully, because you don't like equip them. They're just given to your character under passive. So you can use them for XP for future artifacts, really. That's really the only thing to do with them, besides sell them, I guess.
Well, personally, and you know, it's not like Square did not have a whole year to think about this, but here you've got weapons, you've got armor. They totally should have done a tab for artifacts and separate the whole thing from armor, because this is confusing. This is bad UI. This is just messy. I don't know why they did it that way. It's not armor. You can't use armor mats on it. So seriously, that whole system is badly explained. It's just a mess. So
yeah. So there are some stat bonuses, but also ability bonuses, like here on Twitter at _0451_Jim_ shared a picture that is acquired Belthier. He has 3, and then he's got a 4th one that he's trying to decide if he wants to replace it, because you only have 3, right? Only 3 passive abilities at a time from artifacts. Correct?
Yep.
Yeah. So the ones he has acquired is Mighty Guard or Mighty Snatch Shot, 2-star, Brave Guard up, 2-star, 15 CP, Defense plus 28, Rapid Speed, 2-star, CP 15, HP plus 340, Rapid Speed, 2-star, CP 10. So you're getting a bonus to your ability and a bonus to your stats in some of those, right?
Yep.
But again, quantify what those bonuses are, I guess. So a 2-star is better than 1-star. But is that better than something else for the same? I mean, we're pretty low on CP right now. That's one of the issues, right?
Yep. Definitely.
We don't have a ton of extra CP. And that's always going to be the case, but the better weapons you get, the better CP you're going to have. So yeah, but it seems to me like it's completely random, right? Once you limit break, you know it once you limit break it, right? What thing you acquire?
Yeah, it's one that's fully leveled up and limit breaked.
Well, but as soon as you get the artifact, you know what it does, right?
No, you don't.
So you have to fully
let me
level it.
I think so. See if I hold it. It says passive ability can be acquired by performing limit break 3 times on an artifact and maxing out its level. And when I look at one that I've already done, it says this passive ability is already acquired. So it's not super descriptive. It's a big lottery, and you don't know what you're going to get.
it is a big lottery, and I guess it's just another kind of customization to the game. I don't hear a lot of people saying it's make or break, but it certainly may be. If we have some Japanese players who understand the ramifications of artifacts, that would be great. But as of right now, it doesn't seem like they're too make or break.
All right. Moving on. Battle strategy. That's something that we wanted to talk about last episode, and that we moved on to this episode in order not to have 3 hours long episode on the first run. I kept some points that, again, are great viewer FF9 Masters kept, but I don't know if you want to lead in with something in terms of battle strategy in general in Dissidia.
Yeah, there's some in the outline here. There are some really good tips that you can share here in a second. I would say the thing that I noticed the most, and I also kind of hear it reverberated on Twitter and Reddit, is make sure you know what your abilities do. It
seems simple, but actually,
seems like something you should know.
And I said that during the last episode that I actually did not really understand how Terra worked, and until I actually did, I thought she was boring as hell. But there's actually a good mechanic in how you get not the song, but the
chant.
The chant on, and then you do bravery attacks, and then you launch either the fireball or the meteor. There's a good strategy to get on there. So certain characters are much simpler than other.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a real thing that if you don't know how the ability works, either you're gonna have a very frustrating moment, like for example me before with Terra, or you're gonna get to multiplayer and you're gonna have people kupoing at you plenty of orders because you're doing it all wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, using, for Squall, we saw a lot of co-op Squalls and probably still do, because you can certainly use non-synergy characters like Van, Squall, and Cloud for this Eiko event. But, not using Squall's 2 abilities correctly because there are conditions for each of his abilities that make them more powerful. And so if you're not paying attention to the conditions, you might be wasting the ability or using the ability in another time, or using a break ability when your normal attack would break the character anyway, right? Why use solid barrel when your normal attack is going to break the character?
Yeah, because solid barrel does not give you anything more than...
Well, I mean, it does increase your brave, but
yeah, I mean, it does 4 hits, but if you don't need 4 hits...
Right, exactly.
That's... And at some point, you're going to have the numbers in purple shining, and you're going to be out of an ability that could have saved one of your characters.
Well, especially in the boss fights, when you have bosses that get 6,500 brave, you want to have that ability, like that particular ability, to start breaking that number down, or do something else. So yeah, I think especially the characters you bring into co-op, the characters you use on a regular basis, really just look and see, what's the ability do? Is there conditional modifiers? Are there things that get added or taken away depending on what the ability is? So, I think it's just some awareness that not all abilities are created equally. And just because it says brave doesn't mean it's a brave attack. And just because it says HP doesn't mean it's just an HP attack. There are other things a lot of these abilities do. And apparently there are some hidden attributes, which I think you have in your notes there, that aren't even mentioned. So that's kind of interesting to see and learn about some of these abilities that might have some hidden attributes behind them.
Let's go down the list. And again, this is from Reddit user FF9 Master. That's FFYX Master on Reddit. So he sent us a few tips. I'll go through them quickly, and if you want to comment, just go ahead. First off, he says breaking an enemy delays their turn, and if you break a group of enemies in the correct order, you can often squeeze an extra ally turn in. basically this means if you've got a character that's about to do something and then it's B and A, if you break B, he's only going to go right after A. So you're not really winning anything here, because instead of having enemy B attacks you and then enemy A, it's going to be the opposite. But if you break A, now what you're going to get is that you're going to have your character, then B attacks, and then one of your character will attack before enemy A. Is any of what I'm saying making sense?
To me, it makes perfect sense.
Okay, because I'm super visual, so...
Yeah, no, it is kind of a visual thing. But yeah, basically, if you look at the turn list, and that's really important, you have in your game this little turn list that says who's up, who's coming up, who, which of your characters is next, which of their characters is going to attack first. And you can basically give yourself an extra action by kind of breaking their characters. And every time you break a character, it moves down a slot. And so your next guy moves up a slot. So if you break them in order, A, B, C, you get an extra turn. Or an extra action before they have to attack.
And this goes hand in hand with his next tip, which I would have mentioned just because we're talking about turn order. When you're fighting, and here's what I'll do for people watching on YouTube, I'm going to start a fight, just any fight, to show it to you. Here, let me bring up my phone, because this is going to be so much more visual. So there we go. And Terra's going to be great for that. Alright, so here, as you can see, I have in my turn order, I have Terra, Shantotto, enemy A, Eiko, enemy B, and then Terra again. Now here's the thing. If you tap an ability with I turn rate, you can see how it will change the turn order. So here's what I see. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to keep my finger on Meltdown Chant and look at the turn order bar. So if I do this, see the little arrow that over Terra? And if I do Meteor, so right now it doesn't change anything. But in some cases, she could have moved up and down regarding when she's actually going to do her ability. So
yeah,
see if I do this.
Your character speed, depending on your abilities, your speed can increase or decrease.
Here I have it on HP regen. See, right now Eiko is second to last person to do an action on my bar. If I tap an old HP regen, see, that actually moves her, and she's gonna make her action before enemy A, and enemy A is now second to last. So this is one thing you can do when you have abilities that might change the turn order. You just tap an old, and that little arrow is going to show you how it modifies the turn order. So this is a really, really cool thing to know, and especially in co-op, it's one great thing to have that can allow you to see, oh, if I do this, it might actually save this person or allow this other player to break the mob. So there we go. That was
cool.
That tip for now. Moving on, if you somehow manage to get higher bravery than your maximum bravery value, like level 50 Yuna, initial bravery is higher than her maximum bravery. An increased max bravery wears off. Your summon ends before you can spend your bravery. So again, if I bring back my phone, see right now Eiko is at 1644 on 2508. Let's say I was in a summon and she'd be at random numbers 35,000 on 35,000, and the summon ends. I don't lose my bravery. Yeah. So until I attack and my maximum bravery goes down, I'll still keep the bravery as it is. So it's not a bad thing when you're doing a summon and that you can afford the turns, obviously, to build your bravery over the cap that you usually have, to use it after the summon. So again, if you can do it, obviously if you're going to get crushed right after the summon, it's not the wisest thing to do.
Depending on the scenario. And if you consecutive summon, your max brave keeps increasing.
Yep. Are you sure?
So, don't Yeah, well, I mean, depending on the abilities you have, your
Okay.
max, you know, brave can continue to increase 12, 13,000. I think I've seen pretty easily
Uh,
if you have the turn orders right.
Okay, now he says if you have a conditional speed buff, Edge or Baltier get increased speed at when they have over 50% bravery. Squall gets increased speed at less than 50% bravery. Tapping and holding does not reflect the gaining losing of that passive, but you can still end up with turn shifting unexpectedly. So everything I just said and showed you with the turn order, it might not always be right. And this goes hand in hand with hidden information, like the fact that Van's luminescence, the second ability that triggers after White World, second hit. I don't know if you pronounce it whirl. Anyway,
Whirl.
whirl has a
Whirl.
chance. So yeah, that luminescence has a chance to proc blind or Shantoto's Rage Art. The abilities that she gets once she gets hit by an HP attack, gives her 4 turns of max bravery plus. So again, this is kind of little things that you got to play around. And when we said earlier, know your abilities, this is kind of what we mean. When you cast them in low importance battle, keep an eye on what's happening, what's changing, because who knows, there might be a lot of hidden stuff going on. So I think that's
If you're consistently procking blind or some other status effect, that's pretty important to know.
for real. For people that are live on Twitch, the World of Illusion is up, which means that there's more materials for Shiva being there. It's based on the event that we had recently for Ifrit. I guess this is your opportunity to get Shiva to level 20 or level super high.
Yeah, man. I think the more summons you can have at high level, the better things are going to be, especially with these boss fights. To have the elemental edge, I think is going to help, and each summons does a little bit different. So depending on the type of fight, to have magic damage or physical damage or HP buff versus strength buff versus max brave buff versus fast turns versus slow. I mean,
Well, do you want to cover each summon real quickly? Just go do a quick overview of them.
uh, yeah, here, start, and I'll jump in here in a second.
Yep, no problem. So basically, you've got your very first summon. That's the very old, everybody loves him, Chocobo. That's your first little guy. His blessing. That's uh, the ability or the power that he brings in to your party throughout the battle. This one says he raises your party HP by 100. Not really a lifesaver. And his ability, which is what he does when you press his little ugly face on the battle screen. Right now my Chocobo is level 8. He would do a 650 bravery melee attack to all all enemies, if I'm not wrong, and grants the party attack.
Yes.
Basically adds 10% to their attack.
Attack score. Yeah.
Summon speed, he's moderately fast. He's on for 4 turns. That again is at level 8. That can change. And the max bravery bonus is 850.
Yeah, at level 11. This is why you want to get him to level 11. We're talking about Chocobo, right?
Yep.
And you need a escape anima as opposed to an escape enema. That's a different type of thing. An escape anima is a crystal infused with a feather of legends available from Chapter 6 Dominia Wastelands in hard mode.
Oh, okay.
So you only need one of those, and so I'm sitting at level 10. I have not done Chapter 6 hard mode yet, so I'm sitting at Chocobo level 10. Chocobo level 11 goes from moderately fast to fast.
So that means you can summon him much faster in the battle. Okay.
Yeah, like after one set of turns.
Oh, crap.
Also moves from 4 turns to 5 turns. So you really do want to try to get Chocobo up to a level 11, and hopefully eventually we'll be able to get him faster. And he's just your really fast Chocobo. I mean, he's your really fast summon. He'll come in, you get your extra turns, you go if you want to try to boss rush, do it really fast. So that is Chocobo. So you can bring him up to level 11. I do not believe you can get him past level 11 currently. I think
no,
you can also...
Fastcart on Twitch said earlier, I kind of missed that. He said earlier people have level 14 Chocobos now.
Okay, so you just from grinding items in Chapter 6 hard mode, basically, right? So
I would assume so.
So yeah, so you can do that. Get your Chocobo up a little bit, but definitely level 11 because that's where he changes over to 5 turns and fast. Then your other fast, I think they're all slow except for. Let me make sure. Just looking at them real quick here. Yep. Yeah, so they all start moderately slow except for Sylph and Chocobo. So Sylph is your wind summon, and she lowers debuff odds, which is nice. So lowers the chance of debuffing by a certain percent. That increases. Mine's only at level 5. She restores, so she's your healing summon. She restores HP and Brave, so also does a Brave battery. She is moderately fast. I assume she increases to fast at level 11 and 5 turns as well. And so those are your 2 fast Chocobos. The other ones are your elemental. So we unlocked Leviathan. Did you bind Leviathan yet?
I did. And he's sitting there at level 2.
You have Leviathan, Rama, Ifrit, Shiva, and yes, Odin is not elemental. So we just got Leviathan from Chapter 6, regain 20% Brave over 3 turns when HP drops below 50. So that's nice. He does magic water damage. Rama raised defense by 20% when HP is less than 50 of max and does lightning magic damage. Shiva does cold damage and raises speed. And Ifrit does fire. Surprise! And raises attack. So I have my Ifrit maxed out at level 20 from our World of Illusions Ifrit. That's really, grind this Shiva and get your Shiva up to level 20. I think it's just really nice to have these. It's costs a little bit of gold and obviously costs some time grinding, but it's doable, especially if you want to use the Book of Treasures, the double items on that the second to last thing where you get all the goodies. Usually I think it was part 6 in Ifrit, so we'll see if it's part 6 in Shiva. So my level 20 Ifrit, if you don't have your level 20 Ifrit, is raises attack by 20% of max HP. So when you're at full health, your attack is raised by 20%, which is super awesome. 2,500 upon proccing him, summoning him, 2,500 brave damage, fire damage, grants the party fire ability, so all of your damage attacks during the summon are fire damage. That's the same for all the elementals. His speed at level 20 is normal.
Yep.
So it goes from moderately slow to normal. He has 6 turns, and he increases your max brave by 4,000. So, yeah, so having these max level summons is really cool. It really, really helps, especially in co-op. So I would encourage people to take the time. And if you missed Ifrit, that's fine. Start on working on Shiva and get those. I'm much more willing to spend the time doing that than, the co-op, because you can just sit and, auto battle these kind of things. And
I know I really regretted not grinding Ifrit because every time I would walk into the Baltier co-op, I would be like the last leveled Ifrit out there. He's sitting at level 8 and I felt like a wimp. So
and some people did it really, really fast, leveling these guys up. So we'll see how fast did you level Shiva up to 20. That can be our
all right,
news of the week next week.
I shall.
What's your Shiva?
What's my Shiva? So
show me your Shiva. I'll show you mine.
All right,
Hello.
Let's do that for this week. Hashtag show me your Shiva. Whoever gets level 20 first. How high is your Shiva? Mine's level 5 right now.
Yeah, mine is level 5, right? I don't
All
think you
right.
can raise it. You couldn't raise it behind. You could not raise her above level 5, I believe, correct? Because at level 5 you need Ison Core from World of Illusions Trials of Shiva. So if your
Oh,
Shiva
yeah, no.
before this event was level 6, you are cheating.
There we go. Yeah, that makes sense. All
Yeah.
right, let's move
Oh, we
on.
forgot Odin.
Oh, the
Yeah.
oh.
Odin is not elemental, raises attack by 20%. Yeah, mine's only at level 1. Raises attack by 20% when HP is less than 20% of max HP. That's fun. Math is fun. 500 brave melee lowers low odds break, and then it increases sword damage by, or sword attack by 1.25.
So the
He
slicer
starts with,
guy.
yeah, so he does his super attack, gives you some bonuses. That's nice. We'll see about World of Odin when
Yep.
that happens.
So let's move on to a segment of the show that I decided to call Pierre's Newbie Corner.
Yeah.
Basically, before on season 1, when we had our Crystal Chronicle thing, our record keeper thing going on, I had this huge feeling of imposter because I was running a data mining site and I didn't know two craps about most of the stuff going on, so I kind of always felt like I couldn't come out as the guy who didn't know. But in Dissidia Omnia, I'm only a podcaster, so I feel totally confident being absolutely ignorant about certain things. So will be my segment of asking stupid questions, and it feels great. I was waiting for
Who,
this. So
who are
I've
you
got.
asking?
I'm sorry. What's that?
You're asking them. I said, who are you asking these questions to?
Well,
The internet, just in general?
it's going to be you, the Twitch people, and if we don't have any answers, well, we'll move on to the week after for answers from last week's Pierre's newbie corner. All right, first question: in co-op, do summon power stack? Basically, for example, with what's his face with Ifrit. When you walk into the battle, he says raise his attack by 20% at max HP. So if three people walk, let me tell you a joke. So three guys walk into a bar and they all have Ifrit. But basically, does the entire party gets like all three buffs, or the strongest one applies, or because I'm thinking if everyone has the same buff and they nullify each other, wouldn't it be better to come in with different summons to have different abilities applied over the entire party? Or does it apply only to your character? How does it work?
Yeah, I hear what you are saying, and I think that is a really good question that I do not have an answer to for sure.
All right.
You see when you go into the battle now, we have like a scrolling list of buffs.
Yep.
And so you see if you're playing a level a Freet buff or a Freet's blessing, I think it's called, right? So that scrolls up on the screen. I don't think I've ever seen it in co-op like a Freet's blessing, Shiva's blessing, Chocobo blessing.
So you would only get your own.
My assumption, and this is just based on complete assumption, is that you get your summons blessing.
Okay, yeah, that would make sense.
I could be completely wrong, and I would like to know for sure. I am not finding that information anywhere.
Okay.
So I think that's a good question for our audience. If someone knows for sure
Okay.
how summon powers work in co-op, I think that's a great question. And if they stack, yeah. If they only stack if they're different powers, then more likely we should be bringing different summons. If similar powers stack, then great. If similar powers don't stack, then who cares? I guess.
All right. Second question, and this has been bugging me since I started playing Dissidia 00. I think I understand why, but I still, want to ask a question. Why do certain abilities in battle turn from blue to orange? And I mean, like, again, if I go back and bring back my phone, and this is totally the list of corrections I need to make afterward. See if I, again, just launch any fight whatsoever. Whatever, just no, not this. I don't want to have cutscene. So solo.
So your HP attack, well, it's from top to bottom. Brave attack.
Okay, here it is. So see my right here, meltdown chant.
Yes.
It turned from blue to orange. Why does it do that? Why does it like keep doing that? That's what I don't understand. Does it mean it's going to do something special?
Yes, that's exactly what it means. So there's a couple reasons your abilities may turn from blue to orange. So on the right side of your screen, you have Brave Attack, HP Attack, Ability 1, Ability 2. If you have a weapon, so for example, Squall, Solid Barrel is his first attack, his first ability.
Correct.
I believe if you have his weapon, that gives you Solid Barrel Plus. So regardless of conditions, Solid Barrel is always red.
Okay. Yeah,
if you have his weapon.
Yeah, I always see it.
His second,
I think.
Oh, our Organics is back, huh? For the weekly draw, that's pretty good. I'm just getting the pop-ups here for.
Here, let me pop in Squall.
So his second ability, which is Renzokuken, is that how you say that? That's how I'm going to say it. Renzokuken. That is normally blue, correct?
Yeah, I think so. Here,
Squall. But it will turn red when you're brave.
Wait, just
your initial brave.
Just wait, you cut in for a sec.
Oh, I'm cracking up.
Yep, there you are. So you said it will turn.
So it will turn red when you meet the condition, and that's how you know you've met the condition, when it turns red.
Oh, see, I didn't do anything, and both of them just turn red right away.
So if you're looking like, okay, so this says Renzokuken says 3-hit melee, brave attack, plus HP. Brave attack gains 3 extra hits when brave drops below 250 initial brave. So if you're looking, how do I know when it's 250 initial brave? Well, it turns red. That's how you know.
Oh, I see.
For example, Van. Van has these powers when you use when you're 2 or below 3 uses, basically, they do extra damage.
Yep, they do that second ability.
So they turn red. So when when they're ready, they turn red.
Okay, I get it.
For Bart's, when he's mastered, I think it turns red. So there's some mastery. Although Bart's is a little different. He has little stars above his head, right? So when it's mastery. So I think there are 2 reasons it turns red. First, because you have a boost by a passive ability or an affinity ability. So Solid Barrel Boost Plus makes it red. Or if you've met the condition for the ability. If the ability has a condition that it does more damage, does more attacks, grants a boost, it will turn red to tell you, hey, this ability's ready.
All right, that makes sense.
Your abilities also blink kind of like a purple outline when you kill the character.
That one.
Kill the enemy. Yeah.
That one.
And that's also true on the enemies. The enemies, if the number above their head is purple, that means it's going to kill you.
And if it's in bold orange, it means their bravery is capped.
Yes, in bold orange is bravery capped, correct.
And that one is not a question. It's more of a thing it makes sense once you think about it. It's kind of a thing I discovered. You can if you're grinding for artifacts, you can use Book of Treasures that are active for 30 minutes to get more, double the drops from the artifacts. So. Yeah,
depending, it's probably not the most cost-effective when you're doing it in co-op, right? That's the only place you're getting artifacts, right?
Correct.
It's co-op. Yeah, so, might not be the most cost-effective, but how many co-op matches can you get done in half an hour?
Depends on the co-op players you get team up with, so.
Yeah, so, it could be worth it if you're really into some of these characters and really want their artifacts, so.
Or you're just getting depressed because there's like 24 hours left to the event.
Yeah, right. Like,
All right. So, draw of the week, or do you want to do any
Yeah,
draws
so
tonight?
I drew because I was doing single ticket draws, so I knew it was going to take a while, so I was drawing, so I wouldn't have to like 3 star, 3 star. So I used 12 tickets on the Eiko event because I wouldn't mind having her weapon, right? And I could use some more Bart's weapons, and extra Yido weapons are going to be used for, other weapon boosts, so I'm not too concerned about that. So I ended up with another Hope armor, which is good because now my Hope armor is fully limit broke. I got an Eiko armor. I got a third Yuffie armor, so I have three versions of her. And right now, armor is kind of a big thing, so having fully limit broke 4-star armor is great. There's only a few of those I have right now, so the more the merrier. And I got a Chocobo blade, so I got one 5-star in those 12 tickets, and it was a Chocobo blade. So now I have 3 Chocobo blades, so I'm close to maxing that bad boy out too.
All right. Now I'm looking at the
And there's a new
draw.
banner.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was gonna draw on possibly the Baltier banner because I wanted to have more weapon for Terra, but now I gotta say the new banner is all about uh, Ram, Cloud, and Onion Knight, which are 3 good characters that I really like. So now I'm a little bit, I'm not sure where to draw anymore.
Is this a different? This is a different weapon for Rem.
It might be. Let me
This is a new weapon for her.
Cerula Dagger. Let me check what DissidiaDB.com has to say about this. 1 second. Doopy doopy doo.
Yeah, I want to say this. I want to say
Yeah, I
I think
think
I have her.
the first one
Yeah,
was
Survival
called.
Edge
Yep,
recovers more HP with Cure. So
yep,
this is a new weapon for her.
it
We've
is.
already seen Cloud with a new weapon. So her new weapon attack changes to Ice Brave Magic attack. Well, that's kind of cool. I'm not sure it's pull on it cool, but Onion Knight's weapon is good. Organics is obviously really good.
But
So it
it's
might be
not
worth.
new.
Yeah, it's not high. This is not a next tier CP weapon. It's still a 15 CP weapon. This new weapon for Rem, right?
See, I already
Yeah.
had Ancient Sword for Onion Knight.
Yep, I have Survival Edge and Ancient Sword, so it's not a real tempting draw for me. But again, if you don't have Squall and you don't have Van and you didn't get the Buster Sword
You
from
know what?
buying Dissidia NT, I think Organics is a good chance to
I'm gonna go
to want that.
with Eiko because I don't have any
Yeah,
good weapons for any of these 3 characters. So if I
yeah,
want to co-op some stuff, so let's do this.
yeah. Bart's and Eiko, I think are both solid characters. I like Yida. She's not going to be great, I think, moving forward, but she's decent right now.
All right, so there we go.
Poison's not a good character. All right.
And let's do
Woohoo!
this.
What are we doing?
So, 3 stars. So that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Shit. 7. That's not good. 8. Okay, so 8 3-star. 1 4-star. Oh crap. So I'm gonna have only 1 5-star, and it's Jesus. It's enough banner thing. I got stupid.
Oh, ouch.
I got the Orgranix.
Oh, Organics isn't bad though. Do you already have that for Cloud?
No, I did not. It's just it was totally off banner. I was not expecting that.
Yeah. What's the rates?
Uh,
It's 30. You had a 90% chance of getting one of the banner weapons, and
yeah,
you got
I blew it.
that's pretty good. But to get an off banner Organics is a lot better than an off banner uh, Altair or an off-banner Tiger Fang or an off-banner Judgments or...
No, it could have been worse. I mean, I didn't have anything specific for Cloud, so
Yeah.
it could have
it's
been
a great
worse.
weapon.
So.
It's a great weapon. We'll make him very useful.
All
very
right.
useful.
Well,
cool.
Anything else you want to bring into this week's podcast?
Oh, I think we've talked enough, haven't we?
No, I think we've done enough for this week. Basically, just a quick reminder, we're everywhere on your social media. We're on Facebook at the Crystal Chronicles. We're on Twitter at FFTCC Podcast. We're also on Twitter in our own individual personal accounts. I am at Fuitad, that's FUITAD, and Mark is at Rev Mark Myers. We've got a website which is tccpodcast.com. We've got YouTube channel, Twitch channel. Oh, so many things are all the links are on our website. Again, we'll be back next week on twitch.tv on Tuesday night, 9 a.m. Eastern Daylight Standard, whatever time. I post on Twitter with it's in X hours, so to try and help folks out. And hopefully you had fun. Anything we said that you didn't like, any questions you have, anything you want to ask,
any corrections,
please send them to kupo at tccpodcast.com. Again, that's kupo at tccpodcast.com, and we'll make sure to either answer the question or make the corrections on our next podcast. Thank you, people on Twitch. Thank you, people on the rest of the internets. This was episode number 2, season 2 of the Crystal Chronicles. Have a good one. We'll talk to you next week. Thank you.